pre-show before the free show where we're about to go on strike.
Well, that's a little excessive. I don't know if I'd say we're about to go on strike.
Can we at least just go home? It's like...
Hi, everybody. It's cold. That's what Pickle's
so
upset
cold
about.
in here.
It's cold.
And yes, I understand that it's cold outside. It's like freezing in our office, like legitimately.
It's very cold.
They're trying to work on the heater, which is not ideal when it's like negative temperatures outside.
Yeah, it's cold. Pickle, we have to talk about it.
Okay.
You were in El Paso.
I was.
It was great, right? I presume. I haven't talked to you. I just presume it was great.
Yes, it was fantastic.
Of course, yes. Pickle, there were some football goings on over the weekend.
I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch the Cowboys game?
Absolutely not. Well, one.
You are one of the biggest Cowboys fans I know.
Yeah, so to be honest, because we were in El Paso, I was golfing. So I was planning on going back and we were going to watch the whole second half. We weren't going to miss our tee time or change our tee time because of the Cowboys game ended up falling at the 3:25 spot. We had already booked it by that point. So it was like, okay, kind of starting to keep up with it on my phone. I told Brian, text me some updates. When the update got to like 27-0 or whatever it was, I was like, nope, I'm not going to put myself through that.
Have you seen anything from the game?
No.
You haven't seen anything from the game?
No. My dad went home where we got back to the Airbnb and my dad turned it on and I went outside and played basketball because I was like, I'm not putting myself through this.
It was bad. Now I want to credit Mallory Hartley and myself. Go back and watch the tape, okay? We got asked in Helpful Hana Mailbag Friday about the NFL games. And I did say I'm gonna own up to this. I did say both Texas teams would win.
Okay.
Both the Texans and the Cowboys. But I did say, I was like, the Cowboys make me nervous.
Yeah.
The Cowboys, I think it's a bad matchup. And if they don't start fast, I think they're going to be in trouble.
And that's exactly what happened.
Start fast. Are you what is your prescribed fix for your Cowboys?
I don't know.
Are you let me ask you a pointed question. It's a yes no question. I only want yes or no. Are you done with Dak?
I think I'm done with Dak.
Yeah. Wow.
Something. It's either coach or quarterback. Like there's the only two options, and I just don't. The thing about Mike McCarthy is
he was bad. I'm telling you.
That just
the numbers. There's a lot of window dressing on that.
Yeah.
He went for 400 yards. It's got to be the worst 400-yard game of all time.
Yeah.
He was terrible.
I don't know. McCarthy has always absolutely irritated me with his clock management. I think that there has been so many issues with that, but I don't know. I don't know what to do. Here's my fix. Get Jerry out of there.
Oh,
There's my fix.
Jerry, the owner, needs to fire Jerry, the general manager.
He has got to go. After that, maybe we keep Mike and we keep Dak. I like Dak. I've always liked Dak. Something's got to get fixed, and it's Jerry. Jerry needs to go.
They are really.
It is time.
It's really incredible that. And I've said this before. Like I'm glad I'm not a Cowboys fan. I do not need that pain in my life. Like I have enough friends, enough people that I care about in my life. My brother is a big Cowboys fan, and like I just look at what it does to him. I'm like, man, this Like every year, it feels like they reel you in, and convince you it's going to be different. Is this? Let me ask you: is this the worst one?
Yes, I think that this has been the worst.
This has been the worst. Worst rug pull.
Yeah, they were lighting it up. I mean, everything was going exactly. You have your franchise quarterback; he was doing really well. You've got this stable of wide receivers that was doing well. You finally you got some running backs that can do some stuff. It wasn't the Zeke show the whole stinking time that he was supposed to be good, and then he always fumbled the bag. It was and this defense was incredible. I don't know if Dan Quinn is going to be considered like the number one go-to get after that performance. I think he was up until that performance.
They gave up 41 offensive points. I mean,
when you go down that hard.
And now I want to give some credit here. I know you haven't seen the game. Green Bay played well, really well. Jordan Love played well, but they pulled the Cowboys' pants down.
Yeah.
Like it was they outcoached them. They outplayed them. Like everything. Like I think the most the thing that was most the most indicative thing about the whole performance. Mm-hmm. There was a moment where it's a second half and the Cowboys are trying to claw back into it, and they score a touchdown to pull within. I think it was 18 points. Mm-hmm. Pull within 18 points, which is saying something.
Yeah.
They score to pull within 18 points, and they go for 2. And they get called for 2 penalties on the 2-point conversion. It's a good. The conversion as it happens is good, and then they get called for 2 penalties: illegal man downfield and offensive pass interference. So it backs it up to I guess it's a 10-yard penalty, and so McCarthy decides to kick the field goal or the extra point. Now that doesn't make any sense.
No.
I don't know why you want to be down 17. Whatever, that's fine. It doesn't matter at this point. Mm-hmm. And then Aubrey misses the extra point.
Yep.
That was, to me, a perfect encapsulation of the entire day for the Cowboys.
Yep.
It was
Mr. Perfect misses one.
It was a disaster class.
Yeah. I was very excited to go back and watch it, and when I got the score update that they were scoreless right until right at half.
Yeah, literally last play of the half.
Yeah, I asked Brian, I said, what is happening? And he just goes, what did he say exactly? He goes, it's so bad. And that's when I knew that it was every phase of the game, because if he's not going to give me a breakdown of man, the defense is just getting blown up or the offensive line is getting destroyed, he just said it's so bad.
It's so interesting because And I'm not like I said, I'm not a Cowboys fan, so I don't have this Cowboys defeatism. There were people who thought we're down 7-0, it's over. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I wasn't like that. I thought with 2 minutes left in the first half, they were still in the ball game because they had the ball on the 35, the Green Bay 35. They were driving. Mm-hmm. They're down 20-0. So it's 2-minute warning, and it's 2nd and 2, and the next play is the Dak Prescott pick 6. To Darnell Savage, and that's when I was like, okay, because you're thinking if you score there, it's 20-7. Mm-hmm. You get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah,
it can be 20-14 like that.
Yep.
And then suddenly it is game on, and then maybe there's some pucker factor because it's a really young Green Bay team. Mm-hmm. But that pick 6 was such a killer.
Yeah, it was.
Oh my God, I was texting my brother. He was going through it.
Yep.
This weekend.
I mean, it made me feel better that the Eagles really, really crapped the bed.
I did not know. Hey, maybe the NFC East just stunk.
Yeah, I was thinking, I think that as an Eagles fan, you would be almost even more hurt as a Cowboys fan.
Man.
If you've been a Cowboys fan long enough, you understand that this is probably inevitable because in my lifetime, I've never seen anything other than disappointing Cowboys. And so it's I'm just kind of used to the pain at this point. But as an Eagles fan, oh my God, I would have been distraught.
Pickle.
Which makes my heart feel better.
Pickle. They were 10-1, yep. And they finished 11-7.
Yeah.
And the win was against the Giants. Mm-hmm. I am with you. That has to be a little bit of salve on it. It's okay, well, at least the Eagles stunk.
Yeah, I was going to say it does.
Lord.
My heart hurts, but that was a good little. Okay, good.
Okay, we're not all.
It's not. The world is not over because if we would have done this and then the Eagles would have been champions again, that would have.
Anyway.
Not good.
We're a Lions podcast now.
Yes,
hit the theme
correct.
Expo. Pickle! Hit the air sign. Yes, y'all. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Lewisville, Texas. It is Texas Football Today, a program that would start a fire in the studio if we could.
Yes,
legit.
Literally.
My name is Greg Tepper. I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine, TexasFootball.com, a corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Whether you're watching us live, TexasFootball.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all the places, or you'll listen to us on the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part. Support your local mediocre internet show. I am sitting over there at the helm today, making us sound good. She's the Duchess of the Dorks. She's Miss 915, really and truly. She's Ashley Pickle.
Hi, friends. Happy Tuesday.
Welcome in, friends. We do thank you for spending some time with us. Today is Tuesday. Today's Tuesday.
Which is
It's
weird.
be one of those weeks.
Yep.
Today is Tuesday, January 16th, 2023. It is 317 days till Thanksgiving. Happy birthday to John Carpenter, one of the best directors of all time. He did The Thing. The best John Carpenter movie is The Thing. There's a lot of good movies. That's the best one. Big Trouble in Little China, but The Thing. It's episode 1717. Ooh, look at that. 1717.
Some numbers are the same.
That's fun. On today's show.
Oh, man. It's the 16th. Well, the episode number is correct, but the date is the 16th. It would have been cool.
I was like, that's what I said, right?
If 1717 would have fallen on January 17th, but alas, here we are.
You know what? Cancel the show. We'll
I was
do it tomorrow.
Turn it off!
We'll re-rack and do it tomorrow. On today's show, folks, we got headlines from across the state, including some major transfers in the college football world, as well as some coaching changes, some rather surprising coaching moves. We'll get into that coming up here in a moment. And then back half the show, it's Math Tuesday.
Math Tuesday.
Thank you. And we are rolling out the 2024 Dave Campbell's Texas Football 6-year program rankings for Texas high school football. Those are rolling out this afternoon on TexasFootball.com. We will reveal exclusively live here the top 50. Top 50 programs in Texas high school football, if you stick around with us. Do we have first four through the door?
We sure do. It was Andrew Christensen, Zill 0678, jersey number 69,
Nice.
and Blindside Bass Homan. Welcome in,
I bet
friends.
I know who that is.
I have a solid
I have a
guess.
small inkling of to who that is. Anyway, we do thank you guys for spending a little bit of your day with us. Let's get to some headlines from across the state of Texas, and we must start with this, because the last time we did a show about coaching changes, we spent a lot of time talking about the
impending.
Quite frankly, well, there was a couple things. We
Yes.
started talking about whether or not Steve Sarkisian was going to leave for Alabama.
Right. That has been proved not true.
And that's not going to happen. Kalen DeBoer is the new head coach at Alabama. The Washington coach got hired. And then they gave Steve Sarkisian a big contract extension, which was going to happen. I think he was probably due for that regardless of whether or not Alabama came calling.
Expedited the process.
But I think that got everybody to the table pretty quickly to get that thing done. So my inkling is that, anything can happen. But from an FBS perspective, coaching change season is probably over in the state of Texas. That felt like the last possible head coaching change.
The only thing that I could even think about possible would be if something big opened up and Rhett Lashley got it, big-ish, not massively big. But I don't think that's going to happen.
So Washington is the biggest job open, right?
Yep.
There's nobody in the state of Texas that has a connection to Washington.
No.
I think Rhett Lashley is a really good coach. And he's a hot name, but I don't think that's likely to happen. So FBS coaching change season in the state of Texas is likely over. We probably have our 13 coaches heading into next year. But one place that there was we had a lot of conversation about was at Texas Southern. This has been a story that has been developing for the better part of the last 7 weeks. And they have, you may remember that they called a bunch of meetings and then didn't hire anybody.
And then they called more meetings. Still didn't hire anybody.
To go back to the drawing board and all that fun stuff. All that is to say, there is now, it's actually a move that I think it qualifies as relatively shocking considering where the tea leaves were looking like. But after a relatively messy search, the Texas Southern Tigers have named Chris Dishman as their next head coach. Chris Dishman, you may remember, as the head coach, or rather the former Houston Oilers great. He's a Houston Oilers legend. This is it's probably a good ending to a bad story for Texas Southern, where it goes through, there was some interest in Andre Johnson, but because Andre Johnson, there were sources indicating to Corey Hogue that he doesn't have a degree, which was probably part of the issue, which led to him removing his name from the search. Hines Ward got kicked around. But in the end, they go and hire Chris Dishman. He's a former Pro Bowler for the Houston Oilers. He and actually Prairie View A&M head coach Bubba McDowell were teammates on the Oilers. Most recently, he was the defensive coordinator for the Las Vegas Vipers of the XFL and the New Jersey Generals of the USFL. Before that, he's had some stops at places like Baylor, McNeese, at Division III Menlo, etc. It is like I said, Corey Hogue kind of phrases it as probably a positive ending to a messy story for Texas Southern, and I think they're probably just happy to be out of the news.
Yes.
Probably the thing that does.
Yes. Sometimes not catching the headlines for your coaching hire is the better option.
I would say that Texas got a pair of good. How do I phrase this? Texas got two pieces of good news from a personnel perspective on the over the weekend, or rather since the last time we did a headline segment. One of them is that Quinn Ewers announced that he is going to return for the 2024 season. Quinn Ewers, of course, the starting quarterback for the Texas Longhorns. That is big news for them. He enters 2024 as the presumable starter for Texas, although Arch Manning will certainly, I would imagine, get an opportunity to win the job. But Quinn Ewers, say what you want about him, he led Texas to the college football playoff, plain and simple. There are going to be people. It's interesting. I think there are going to be people who just want the new guy, who want Arch Manning to get his opportunity. But Quinn Ewers will be back for 2024, which I think if you told me that at the beginning of the year, I would have thought you were a bit crazy. But obviously, usually when that happens, he asked somebody for an NFL grade, and he probably wasn't going as high as he thought, or high as he hoped, and so he's hopeful that he will get another opportunity. The other thing is that the quarterback class, he wasn't going to be the first quarterback taken, right? I think he might be looking at this and saying, okay, if I wait another year, maybe the quarterback class will clear out and I can be a little bit higher on the list. So Quinn Ewers will be back for the Texas Longhorns next year. A guy who will be joining him there will be a player that actually Quinn Ewers faced off against back in week 2 when Texas went to Alabama and got a win. The star receiver for that Alabama team was Isaiah Bond. Isaiah Bond, after Nick Saban retired, that opened up the transfer portal for 30 days for Alabama players. One of those guys who hopped in the portal was their star receiver, Isaiah Bond, led them with 48 catches for 668 yards and 4 touchdowns. He will now be joining the Texas Longhorns. He has announced that he will be transferring to Texas. This has been a reloaded receiver core. For a receiver core that looked like it was going to get wiped out. Coming out of the Sugar Bowl loss. Texas has really reloaded with guys like Matthew Golden transferring from Houston, as well as guys like Jonte Cook, DeAndre Moore Jr., Ryan Niblett. They signed Ryan Wingo in the 2024 class. The Texas receiver room has been restocked most certainly. Another bit of news, quarterback news. You may remember that Chandler Morris, the TCU quarterback, has hopped into the portal. He has found his new home, and he's staying local, just going kind of across the Metroplex from TCU to North Texas.
I was hyped about this.
Where he will have 2 years of eligibility for North Texas. It is, and they remember Eric Morris lost his quarterback when Chandler Morris transferred.
Chandler Rogers.
Thank you. That's gonna be tough.
Well, yeah, because you've got Chandler Rogers being replaced by Chandler Morris and head coach Eric Morris. So
none of this is good.
No.
Morris will presumably battle Stone Earl to be the starting quarterback. My guess is that Chandler Morris is your favorite to be the quarterback there, but that's big news for North Texas as they haul in Chandler Morris transferring from North Texas to TCU to North Texas, rather. I will get it right. Speaking of quarterbacks, Texas State has landed a transfer quarterback.
This is going to be an interesting battle.
So TJ Finley announced that he's coming back, right? He announced he's coming back for another year in Texas State, which is great. Now
things got interesting.
They will be adding Jaden DeLora. Jaden DeLora, the former Arizona quarterback, as well as the former Washington State quarterback, will be transferring there. He was this was there's a strange situation there legally that I'm probably not well versed enough to comment on. But DeLaura will be eligible to play this season after he filed a lawsuit against the NCAA to be immediately eligible. This is a guy who was Arizona's starting quarterback for the last 2 seasons. He threw for more than 3,600 yards and 25 touchdowns in 2022. So yeah, this is a big get here for Texas State as Jaden DeLaura joining and will presumably compete with TJ Finley for the quarterback job. It's very interesting there.
That's gonna be a fun one to keep an eye on.
Absolutely. Most certainly. Okay. And then a couple of head coaching changes of note across the state of Texas. One of them is that Wall will have a new coach after Houston Guy. For the first time in 17 years, they're going to have a new head coach. As Houston Guy announced that he would not return as the head coach. That's reported by our Matt Stepp. He submitted his official letter of resignation will next week. But he told our own Matt Stepp that he will be resigning there at Wall. So the Wall Hawks are looking for a new head coach. Laredo United South is looking for a new head coach. Joe Koss has retired after a lengthy career. But so Laredo United South is looking for a new head coach as well. And then finally, I do want to mention this in the non-FBS ranks. One more, and that is that SAGU was looking for a new head coach. That's Southwestern Assemblies of God. Southwestern Assemblies of God. SWAGU for those who really. As they have promoted their defensive coordinator, I believe it was, Jared Hudgens, to be their next head coach. He was an assistant coach for his alma mater. He was named defensive coordinator in 2021. He will be taking over after Greg Ellis announced his resignation after going 11-10 during his 2 seasons. So the new head coach there is Jared Hudgens, the new head coach at the Southwestern Assemblies of God Lions. He's been promoted to take over the Lions. So that is all the news and headlines from across the state. Of course, we've got you covered every step of the way along the offseason on TexasFootball.com. We are Texas Football Today. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Coming up here in just a moment, the top 50 Texas high school football programs ranked, and you can't argue with math. We'll get into Math Tuesday, but first, a word from these goods and services.
I feel like bustin' loose, bustin' loose. Come on, get on up. Oh yeah, get on up. Bustin' loose when you wanna sing. Bustin' loose, baby, do your thing. Talking about bustin' loose, yeah.
Hi. I'm Jennifer Potter, Executive Director of Be Well Texas. Too many people are struggling alone these days, and alcohol and drug deaths are increasing. We started Be Well Texas to offer high-quality, science-based addiction treatment and recovery services anywhere, even at home. We provide compassionate, caring support virtually or in person. In many cases, there is no cost for treatment if you don't have insurance. Really. Welcome to Be Well Texas. We're glad you're here.
Wing is the largest residential drone delivery provider in the world, delivering to your home in less than 30 minutes. Order using an app just like other popular delivery services, and Wing's automated drone takes care of the rest. It's fast, safe, and sustainable, and it's now delivering to parts of Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. You can learn more at wing.com/TexasFootball. Again, that's wing.com/TexasFootball.
Born and bred in Texas hits a little different, as it should. Texas loves doing business with fellow Texans. VCR now takes its Texas roots as seriously as its many partnerships with schools and universities around the state. It's also why we're so proud to promote our brand in the pages of the Texas Bible, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and on the airwaves of Texas Football Today. Driven by producing quality broadcast video, state-of-the-art audio, and LED video scoreboards at affordable prices, VCR now makes sure to listen to your needs in its athletic department before recommending the next best steps. Building great products is our business, and it's our focus on building meaningful, long-term partnerships with our clients that sets us apart. From our 24/7, 365-day help desk, the training lab in our hometown of Red Oak, or our sports marketing business plan that puts money back in the hands of our athletic departments we support, VCR Now is built to last. Reach out to us today at info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW. Again, that's info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW.
Back here on Texas Football Today inside the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Iceberg. And looking at my watch. Did you know that today is January 16th?
Uh-huh.
Do you know what day of the week that is?
Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. You know what we do on Tuesday?
Math Tuesday.
Math Tuesday.
Math Tuesday.
It's Math Tuesday here on Texas Football Today.
Heck yeah, it is.
It is a one of the most celebrated segments, I would say, in all of media.
Yes.
Here and today we've got a very special edition of Math Tuesday, because rolling out here in just a few minutes on TexasFootball.com, we're going to have Dave Campbell's Texas Football 6-year Texas high school football program rankings. I believe this is our 6th season of doing it.
Oh, wow.
We created this back in 2018, I believe, January 2018, as a way. We wanted to find a way to, quite frankly, just measure Texas high school football programs and answer the question, what is the best Texas high school football program? That's it. What's the best one going? And so what we ended up coming up with was our 6-year Texas high school football program rankings. We roll this out every January, and want as a way of stacking up every UIL Texas high school football program up against one another. Let's put the first slide up, and we'll explain a little bit about what happens here. Okay, so here's how it works. The goal, as you can see, is to rank the relative strength of every UIL program in Texas over the course of the last 6 seasons. Now, you might be asking yourself, hey, Self, why did they choose 6 seasons? And the way that I thought, because I'll admit I was the one who designed this formula, my idea behind it was any program in Texas can have one transcendent class. Any program, and they should certainly get credit for that, but if you're talking about consistency, we go a 6-year sample, in my opinion, provides a steady measure of a program as opposed to an individual squad.
Correct.
Because that's 1.5 graduation cycles. So even if you have one unbelievable class or one terrible class, right? Good programs can have 1 or 2 great years. Great programs will have it across a wider swath of time, like, for example, 6 years. So we chose the last 6 seasons. So this year's rankings reflect the 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, and this past year, the 2023 rankings. So 2017 is dropping off, and 2023 is joining. The rankings are based on a formula that includes the following criteria. It's games won. Okay, so plain and simple, how many of the maximum number of games did you win? So the maximum number of games you can win is 96 if you're an 11-man team and 90 if you're a 6-man team. Okay, winning percentage. Okay, I think that's pretty obvious. Of the games you did play, how many did you win? 10 win seasons. This is one for me that I think if you win 10 games in a year, unequivocally, like, it's hard to say you had a bad year. Is that right?
Yep.
Would you say if Lano wins 10 games in a year, they're going, hey, that's a heck of a year.
Yes.
Heck of a year. 10 win seasons. How many times in the last 6 years did you win 10
There's
games?
very few teams that would be a shock
Correct.
to only get a 10 win.
State championship game appearances, plain and simple. How many state title games did you go to? And state championships, how many of those title games did you win? So perfect score. If you are the perfect, it's based on, if you want to get into the weeds, it's based. I have it set up so it's a 100-point metric. The perfect score would be if you went 96-0. or 90-0, and you won all 6 state championships. And the worst possible score would be if you went 0-96 or 0-90. And so one thing to keep in mind is that because this is a 6-year program ranking, you have to have played 6 seasons for UIL honors to be eligible. So that doesn't mean outlaw schedules or anything. You have to play for UIL honors to be eligible. So newly eligible this year, because this past year was their 6th season of varsity play, Alvin Shadow Creek, San Antonio Harlan, Bridgeland, for example. And then there are a few programs that would have been in the top half of the rankings if they had been eligible. Teams like Frisco Emerson, San Antonio Davenport, and Canyon West Plains, which you will not see in the rankings when you see it. Overall, we rank 1,216 UIL Texas high school football programs, okay? 1,216. So one of the things that I always keep an eye on whenever I'm putting these things together, and I got my big spreadsheet out, I'm working through the data, is which teams are on the rise and which teams are falling the most. So let's take a look first at the teams that are on the rise the most. Number 1 with a bullet is Willis. Willis jumped 323 spots to number 618.
There's the DJ Lagway effect.
That's a big part of it.
Right.
To me, whenever you look at these things, you have to measure it 2 ways. One, what season are they adding? And you'll see on this list, all 5 of these teams had great years.
Oh, yeah.
But also, if you go back to 2017, that means that their 2017 was likely not good.
Yeah, really bad.
Yeah, they're replacing a bad season with a great one.
Season.
So Willis had a great year. They're up 323 spots. Clyde, of course, Blake Carr and company, up 308 spots to 489. Forney is up 286 spots after a terrific season, 628 up to 628. Roscoe, the Plowboys, are up 261 spots to number 530. And Miami is up 241 spots to 458.
Yeah, because even if you were replacing a really good year with like a fairly decent year, you wouldn't jump that much. You
Absolutely.
have to be ditching a really bad 2017 season.
So I'll give you an example. Miami, down there at the bottom, 458. They went 12-1 this past year. It was a great year for the Warriors. They are replacing a 2-8 season.
Yes, exactly. That's a substantial difference.
It's a huge leap for them to be
12
able
more
to do it.
wins.
And by the way, if they have
Or
another
10.
great year, this upcoming year in 2024, they went 3-6 in 2018.
Okay.
Which means they've still got upward mobility in that regard. Then let's take a look on the other side of it and teams that are tumbling a bit in the rankings. And you will see there will be a common thread here. Down 447 spots is Rockdale. Now, this is extremely easy to explain. Pickle, do you know what happened to Rockdale in 2017?
Did they win the state championship?
Won a state championship.
Yep.
Plain and simple. When a state championship cycles off and you don't replace it with another great season, you're going to fall.
Yep.
You're going to fall. Same thing goes for Hewitt Midway. Hewitt Midway, you may remember, played in the 6A Division II state championship. They tumbled 327 spots to 540. San Marcos is down 295 spots. They replace this is the opposite of that, right? Replace a good season with a bad one. San Marcos is down 295 spots. Houston, Washington was down 290 spots, down into the thousands now. And then Round Rock Cedar Ridge down 245 spots to 527. So you can see I think it's relatively easy to see once you dive into the numbers how this movement works, which is how did you do in the year that's cycling off and how did you do the year that's cycling on. So now we're going to roll out the top 50. The top 50 will have all 1,217, was it? Programs, yeah, 2016 programs. But here we're going to roll out the top 50. 50, Corpus Christi Veterans Memorial. Number 49 was Mason. Number 48 was May in the 6-man ranks. Number 47, let me see, 47, Spring Westfield. Number 46, Cuero. They're at 46. Number 45, Gordon. There's a state champion. They made a huge leap, 110 spots up. Number 44 is Denton Geyer. Speaking of state champions, number 43, Timpson, made a big leap to 33 spots. Falls City falls to 42. College Station down to 41. Holiday at 40. Stratford up a couple spots to 39. Poth to 38. Benjamin. Big leap for them, up 108 spots for their second consecutive state championship. They're up to 37. They were 145th last year. They're now up to number 37. China Springs, still with 2 state championships on their ledger. They are holding strong at 36. Wimberley, Longview at 34, Liberty Hill at 33, Strawn at 32. They were number 10 last year, but they're starting to cycle off those state championships, and that hurts. The first of their three-peat, I believe, cycles off now. Balmoral is down to 31. Pleasant Grove is at 30. Vandergrift is at 29. Newton at 28. Fort Bend Marshall at 27, and Denton Ryan tumbles just out of the top 25. They're at 26th in our program rankings. So now, remember, this is based on 2018 through 2023. Let's roll out. All right, have you seen this?
Mm-mm.
Okay. I want you to take a guess at who the top three are. It can be in any order. The top three programs over the last 6 seasons.
Alito.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I would say Duncanville or North Shore, but that's going to be kind of hard because they've both played, but they've both won now. I'll go North Shore and Gunner.
Let's go to the top 25.
Let me pull it up now.
Where number one...
Oh my God, I did it.
You got it exactly right. Number one, the Alito
I promise
Bearcats.
I did not look at that.
Number one, the Alito Bearcats. Alito is number one. They've gone 86-5 over the last 6 seasons. They have 5 state championships and 5 title game appearances. 5 out of 6. North Shore comes in second. They're 90-5 in that span. They've made 5 title games. They've won 3 of them. And third on the list is Gunner. They're up into the top. They move up a couple of spots to number 3. They have won 3 titles. They, of course, have another title game appearance as well. Fourth is Mart. Fifth is Duncanville. Carthage tumbles from number 2 to number 6. Austin Westlake is down from number 4 to number 7. Franklin, Refugio, and Hawley round out the top 10. Then you've got Grandview. South Oak Cliff is up to number 12 in the rankings. Shiner at 13th. Canadian at 14th. Katy at 15th. The highest ranked 6-man program is now Richland Springs at 16th. They have gone 68-8 over the course of the last 6 seasons. Gilmer makes a big leap with their state championship up to number 17. Albany, another state champion, moves up to 18th. Highland Park, actually one of the relative tumblers here. They dropped from 10 to 19. DeSoto, their second consecutive state championship, gets them up to number 20. Speaking of state champions, Malakoff up to number 21. Brock at 22. Argyle at 23. Westbrook at 24. And rounding out the top 25, the Southlake Carroll Dragons. So there you have it. Our program rankings, the top 25 Texas high school football programs over the last 6 seasons. Alito, North Shore, Gunner, Mart, and Duncanville, your top 5. We're going to release the full rankings on TexasFootball.com. Coming up here momentarily, you can see where your favorite team ranks in the 2024 Dave Campbell's Texas Football 6-year Texas high school football program rankings. It's a lot of fun to see kind of the movement. Again, one of the things is that, like, if you win a state championship, it really does. Like when we designed this, I wanted it to be where if you win a state championship, you should get a big boost. Yeah. Like you should see it. Like you should be rocket fuel, and it'll stick around for a while. So for a program, like Gilmer or a program like Benjamin, they make a leap. But also, there's a side of it, which is for a program like Rockdale, when it cycles off and that sugar high comes off,
right,
it hits.
Well, yeah, and that's why the teams at the top should be the ones that are competing for a state championship. To me, every single year.
Yeah, to me, if you want to say this is a measurement of the most consistent Texas high school football programs, that's what I think it is. I think it measures consistency, and plain and simple, there's been no program in Texas high school football more consistently excellent than the Alito Bearcats.
Yep.
So there you have it. We'll have the Texas high school football program rankings up on TexasFootball.com as soon as I get off the show. Let's go over to Ashley Pickle for America's second favorite segment. Final thoughts.
If you missed any recruiting stuff this weekend, Greg Powers had it all covered because the next level athlete camps were down, one in Houston, one in DFW. Yes. He got a lot of really good interviews with some high profile recruits. So go check those out. Get more dosage of Grev.
Get TexasFootball.com.
Because that's what everybody wants.
TexasFootball.com is where you can find all of those fun things. So, that's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. For Ashley Pickle, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please get your Player of the Year trophy. We'll see you tomorrow on Texas Football Today.